G'day, I'm Paul. This is the new Mahindra Scorpio, and given it's a off-road focused SUV, we thought we'd do a bit of light off-roading today. I'll run you through some of the features that it has inside, some of the switch gear, how it all works, and we'll see whether this is actually a decent off-roader in addition to being a family car. So today's going to be all about off-roading only. We have shot a video that talks about what this is like on-road, and I'll run you through how to find that in just a second. If you do want to skip ahead to other parts of this video, you can use the time codes on the screen, or if you're on YouTube, you can scroll down and use the chapters below. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon so you can find out every single time we drive a mighty Scorpio. Okay, so we're going to do a little bit of light off-roading in the Mahindra Scorpio. We have already shot this as an on-road review, so that runs through all the features, the room inside, all that sort of stuff. If you do want to watch that, you can click on the card on the screen there or go down to the link in the description below. Today's all about some light off-roading. We're going to send it across our off-road course and just give you a bit of an idea of how well this performs if you go to the bush and just want to do a little bit of off-road driving. So that will be the aim of today. I'll run you through the four-wheel drive specs quickly. So it has an approach angle of 27.2 degrees and a departure angle of 21.3 degrees. Ground clearance of just under 230 millimeters. Wading depth isn't really that good, and we won't be able to go through our river today because it's at 650 mil. Max wading depth for this is 500 millimeters. In terms of the actual off-road equipment, you have basically a system that is two-wheel drive for sealed surfaces, so that's driving on a regular road, and four-wheel drive for unsealed surfaces, so things like gravel, snow, mud, that kind of thing. Now, the reason you can't use this in four-wheel drive on a sealed surface is because you could do damage to the transmission and the driveline, and to get a better idea of why that's the case, have a look at the video that's up there or in the link in the description below where I explain four-wheel drive modes. This has four-wheel drive high range, four-wheel drive low range, and also 4 different drive modes, plus a mechanical locking rear differential. It is an automatic locking one, so that means that when it does detect delta in tyre speed, it will then lock on its own. I don't love those, but we'll see how this one performs. We also have a hill descent control as well. So what we're going to do is go to our offset Mogul first in two-wheel drive high range. So this is basically going to give us an idea of how well the traction control system works. And based on how well it works here, I can move through some of these drive modes to see if we can improve it as we go. So we're going to get to a position where that rear wheel on the driver's side is lifted off the ground. Currently we're seesawing effectively, so we have 2 wheels off the ground. I'm going to roll onto the throttle here and we'll see how well traction control works. Wow, that is incredible. That basically immediately just moved because that was the rear diff lock engaging there. It detected slip immediately and it moved straight away. And it actually did a really good job because a lot of the systems, like in SsangYongs, when they do actually engage, they give you a really big shunt because they wait for a lot of wheel slip before they engage, whereas that just hooked up straight away. I didn't even need to engage any of these settings. That is unreal, awesome. Okay, back we go. Now what we're going to do this time, I'm going to put it into four-wheel drive high range. Again, I'm not going to set any of these modes just yet. So four-wheel drive high range is engaged by clicking that. It waits until it's ready. You can see the light flashing down there. That is now engaged. So currently we are sending 50% of torque to the front axle, 50% to the rear. Let's see how it goes now in reverse. Traditionally, cars struggle over this because we get to the point where we're getting 2 wheels off the ground, such as right there. And then I'll roll onto the throttle now. We'll see how it goes. Oh man, that is so good. That is unreal. So again, that rear diff lock engaged and we're able to climb over that without any problems at all. I just yet haven't had to change any of these drive modes, which is great. So I think that shows you that this is a really well sorted system and they've put a fair bit of effort into engineering the all-wheel drive system. This is a very light off-road course. We're not doing any hardcore off-roading today. This is a light off-road course, but typically cars have struggled there before. So I think the fact that this has just gone over it without any dramas just tells you that it is a pretty well sorted off-road vehicle. Okay, next up is our hill climb. So normally I do this in low range because a lot of four-wheel drive struggle getting up here in sort of just the standard four-wheel drive high range. So I might actually set this to, let's have a look what we got here. We have grass, gravel, snow. Next one along is mud, rut. That's pretty muddy, so let's give that a shot. I've left it in four-wheel drive high range. We'll see what happens. I'll come back around and do this in four-wheel drive low range if we need to, but given how well it's performed so far, anything can happen. Holy moly, this is doing an incredible job. That is insane. I'm genuinely blown away by this. As we were climbing there, it was basically just doing everything on its own. It was able to limit wheel slip, it locked the rear diff. There was nothing out of the ordinary, nothing weird. That is seriously cool and not in low range. That is awesome. We'll go back again and do that in low range just for fun, but that is great. All right, we've got our mud bog here. Let's drop this in. All right, there it is. Okay, next up, we're going to do a hill descent here. So I'll engage hill descent control by pushing that button there. So that is on. So for this, I'm going to engage the camera as well. So that just allows me to see over the edge there and to get my line right. Okay, so there it is there. And now I'll just let go of the brake and we'll see how it goes. That's pretty good. So the speed I was kind of happy with there. It wasn't too fast. And it just tipped us over the edge and away we went. So yeah, not too bad. Okay, take two. This time I'm going to put it into low range just so we can say that we did do that. So putting it into neutral, press four-wheel drive low range. Wait for that. That's now engaged. Put this back into drive. Let's see how this goes now. All right, it has switched traction control off, so I'll be curious to see whether it performs as well. There it is, rear diff is now locked. I'm just resting on the throttle there. Oh, this car is incredible. I'm blown away by this. Like, look, it doesn't have a lot of the buttons and stuff that you do find on some vehicles. Like the Pajero Sport has about 1,000 buttons you can set, but this just has a few basic functions, and the traction control system is incredibly good. So yeah, I'm genuinely impressed by this. I think they've done a fantastic job getting all this set up. It is just really well engineered. Okay, last challenge we have, what I do here in all of the SUVs that we test is actually go up, stop, and then apply the throttle again to see whether it will make it up on its own. So let's give that a shot here as well. We'll see what happens. It is worth pointing out as well that this isn't really on a set of mud terrains either. It's just on a sort of fairly standard tyre, and it is doing a good job on that. So we'll come up here, come to a stop just there, and then we'll roll onto the throttle and see how it goes. Oh, I think we're digging a hole here. Yeah, we aren't just digging a hole. I'm going to have a little bit of a run up there. Yeah, I can see it's digging a slight hole there, so I'm going to have to just have another crack at that. Throttle. There it is. It just needs a little helping hand with the throttle there, but yeah, still very, very impressed with this in terms of hill climbing. They're on a pretty muddy hill. Okay, now let's have a look at what the ground clearance is like here over our rocks. So a little under 230 mils, so I'll be curious to see how it feels over here, especially with that straight and right and handling tune they've done on this. Okay, so far so good, no bottom outs. Actually doing a good job. I've just left this in low range, and I'm just riding the brake with the throttle as we crawl over this. Actually feels great. It's really nice and comfortable. And there's adequate clearance there to get it across this stuff without too many dramas. So look, it's actually not too bad at all. Nice. Awesome. So look, when we normally do our off-road sort of stuff around here, I normally send it through our water crossing as well, but that's at 650 mil, so it's going to be too deep for today. And this is where we're going to leave it for the Mahindra Scorpio. So look, I hope you enjoyed that off-road review of the Scorpio. If you do want to see what this is like in just regular day-to-day conditions and what it's like to live with, have a look at our normal review, which is in the description below. As a car that you want to take off-road, this is sensational. I was genuinely amazed by this. I think if you put like a set of mud terrains on this or something, this could probably go anywhere. I'm just really impressed with it. So yeah, hat off to Mahindra for doing such a good job in terms of the off-road specs for this. If you did enjoy this video, please make sure you like it and you share it with your mates. And if you haven't done so already, subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon. But until next time, take it easy.